I am Kellen Lewis.
And I am Knights Country Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Shawnette Ferguson Morris, and we both will have the distinct pleasure of moderating such a momentous occasion.
Yes, we are here to celebrate the achievement of an important milestone under the theme, A Difficult Road, A Beautiful Destination, Class by Chance, Legacy by Choice. Loved ones, we ask that you be mindful of others. We kindly ask that you put all cellular phones on silent, you do not block the aisles or passageway, and remain seated for the procession and the duration of the ceremony. We ask that the class of 2023 remain seated until the recessional, and during that time, photographs can be taken.
We will now have the entrance of our special guest and school's faculty, and after the guest of honor, C.R. Walker Senior High School's class of 2023. worthy milestone and an enormous stepping stone. A finish line created by your hard work, but a green light signaling you to keep going with confidence. A single door serving as an exit from this world and also an entrance into a world which you will now have the power to influence for the better.
Let's give another rousing round of applause to the class of 2023. Graduates, you may be seated. The Honorable Glenna Hannes Martin, Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Wade Watson, Parliamentary Secretary for the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Member of Parliament for Bain and Grandstown, Ms. Kishan Bastian, Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training,
Dr. Novia Carter-Luque, Deputy Permanent Secretary and Director of the Bahamas National Drug Council and other members of the National Drug Council, Mr. Shannon Roberts-White, Acting District Superintendent for Northern New Providence Secondary Schools, Mr. Prince Moss, District Education Officer for Northern New Providence Secondary Schools, Ms. Princess Fox, Principal of C.R. Walker Senior High School, Ms. T. Nicola McKay, former Principal of C.R. Walker Senior High School, Mr. Michael Cartwright, Chairman of C.R. Walker Senior High School's Board, and Deputy Chairman, Mr. Cyril Pete, and other executives of the board. C.R. Walker Senior High School PTA President, Ms. Zavria Roach, and Vice President, Mr. Dave Beckford. Administrators, faculty, staff, parents, family, friends, other distinguished guests, and the class of 2023, a pleasant good morning.
At this time, I would like to invite you to stand for the singing of the national anthem, which will be played by our school band. And please remain standing after for the invocation, which will be done by Vice Principal Dr. Bertie Curtis.
Oh I pledge my allegiance to the flag and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, for which it stands, one people united in love and service.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we are so grateful for this day. We thank you for the completion of another academic year and for giving us the opportunity to serve and to play a vital role in the lives of our students. We ask your blessings upon this ceremony and particularly upon the class of 2023. Through your gracious Spirit, we ask that you bless our students with patience as they prepare to explore new horizons. Bless them with gratitude for friends, teachers, administrators, parents, and other family members who have supported them through this journey. During this season of new beginnings, Lord, we ask that you would make our graduates' way clear. We ask that you would keep their footsteps firm and remind them that you are with them always. May they sense the freshness of your Spirit over their lives in amazing ways. May they be strengthened for the new roads you have in store for them. We ask for your wisdom and clear direction over their lives. We pray that you will direct their steps, that your plans for them would prosper, that every place you have determined for them to walk would be paved clear. We ask for you to open doors that need to be opened and close every door tight that should be shut in the name of Jesus. Allow every gift and treasure you have placed inside their lives to grow, develop, and flourish to bring you glory. Father, we know that for some of them, the journey on the road to excellence was not easy. And so we ask for you to grant them solace, comfort, and strength to face the future with hope. In gratitude, we pray this morning for our parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, big brothers and big sisters, and the many who have sacrificed and worked tirelessly to see the class of 2023 celebrate this momentous day. In gratitude, we pray for the administrators, teachers, support staff, security officers, clerical staff, guidance counselors, and school police officer, all who may have challenged, cared, and crafted our students along this academic journey. Father, we pause to thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our knowledge, skills, time, and resources with these graduates gathered here today. Though they are leaving our C.O. Walker's campus, we know that they will always be with us as part of the C.O. Walker Knights family. We ask that you would raise up greatness in their lives, be a lamp for their feet and a light to their path. Shine over them and fill them with your Spirit. We declare today that our students will not die, but they shall live to fulfill their divine purposes. Continue to bless the proceedings of this morning. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you, Dr. Curtis, for invoking God's presence. Grade 12 year ahead, Mistress Makisha Powell will now bring official welcome remarks. Following Mistress Powell, our graduates will be led in the Graduates Pledge, led by Leroy Dossett and Rithoria Sinfleur.
Protocol already having been established, a pleasant good morning to all. Today, we gather to celebrate the closure of one journey and the beginning of another. Each and every one of you that comprises C.R. Walker Senior High School's class of 2023 stands on the cusp of your own greatness. The journey to this beautiful destination has not always been untroubled. To the contrary, the journey has been permeated with obstacles. The unexpected arrival of an unprecedented pandemic, which brought with it social distancing, virtual learning, the introduction of the LMS, submission of assignments via live worksheets, and the list goes on and on. Through all these numerous adaptations to the methods in which instruction was dispensed, a spirit of tenacity and perseverance was developed. Each and every member of the class of 2023 made a conscious, deliberate decision to prevail over what at the time may have appeared to be insurmountable obstacles. At times, you may have had doubts. You may have questioned whether it was worth it and if you would make it to the end of this difficult road. Your presence here today is indicative of the decisions you made along your journey. You have all proven the truthfulness of the words of Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher and polymath. Quote, "Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny." End quote. Because of your choice to persevere, because of your choice to be diligent, because of your choice to remain and exhibit grit, through your choice to be excellent, through your sincere effort, through your intelligent execution, and through your wise choices, you have arrived at this beautiful destination, your graduation day. We are gathered here to celebrate our graduating class of 2023, to recognize their accomplishments and to bestow upon them all the accolades and all the commendation deserving. To our esteemed Ministry of Education officials, specially invited guests, school board executives, administration, faculty, staff of C.R. Walker High School, parents, relatives, and well-wishers of our honored class, we say welcome. Welcome to this most auspicious celebration, like no other, under the theme, "A difficult road, a beautiful destination. Class by chance, legacy by choice." Again, we extend a special welcome to you all.
Graduates, please stand and refer to page 8 in the books for the Graduates Pledge, please. We, the members of the graduating class of 2023, do hereby pledge our loyalty to our alma mater.
We pledge faith to the great virtues and high principles for which we stand. We pledge to uphold its honor throughout our lives, and may no thought, words, or deeds tarnish its honor, and glory ever to be shining examples to our fellow men in truth and knowledge imparted to us. We promise to render homage to God, help our parents, be upstanding citizens of our communities for the honor of C.R. Walker Senior High School. So help us God.
You may be seated, graduates. Very inspiring words that will serve as a guide into the future. You will now be treated to the melodic song of the C.R. Walker Concert Band.
While the band prepares to come, we will now have a video presentation with our esteemed principal's address for this academic year.
Protocol having been established, I welcome you all. Special greetings are extended to the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin, Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. The Honorable Zane Lightburn, Minister of State in the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. The Honorable Wade Watson, Member of Parliament, Bain and Grantstown. Mrs. Keishan Bastian, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. Mrs. Shannon White, District Superintendent, Northern New Providence Secondary Schools. Our guest speaker, Mrs. Anastasia Palacios, and our host pastor, Bishop Hewlin Hanna. Finally, to the class of 2023, good morning and congratulations. Our theme for this morning's prestigious event is A Difficult Road, a Beautiful Destination, Class by Chance, Legacy by Choice. So let us start at the beginning of that difficult road, initially reflecting on approximately 5 months prior to the day, March 13, when the entire world seemingly shut down and came to a halt because of an invisible but deadly virus called COVID-19. COVID-19 resulted in months of school closures, restrictions, and curfews necessary to keep all safe. The way ahead was uncertain. School officially closed on paper on June 19, 2020, with the seemingly longest break in history. On August 31st, 2020, school reopened for students. But where were the students? Corridors, playgrounds, and classrooms were all empty. Do you remember where you were, class of 2023? You were all at home, suddenly thrust into a new out-of-classroom experience. For the next several months, online/virtual/remote learning was the new norm. Students, teachers, administrators, and parents had to prepare to do things differently. and very quickly. I pause to sincerely thank administrators, teachers, and parents for the excellent roles played to get us through this initial period, a difficult road indeed. Parents, you played your part with finesse, stepping in to be the surrogate teachers, brushing off dusty dictionaries and textbooks, and calling in resource persons to help with answers to challenging questions. I applaud you for staying the course, not giving up, being a true knight. Meanwhile, teachers collaborated to ensure that quality instructions were the order of the day. Yes, teachers had to become learners as well, quickly familiarizing themselves with online teaching platforms like the LMS, Teams, Google Classroom, etc. Additionally, offices still had to be operational, so administrators, support staff, and security were on site doing just that. Bravo to these dedicated knights. We cannot forget the school board executives who expanded their purchases to include safety resources to keep offices sanitized and prepare for the inevitable return of students. It was the PTA that kept home and school connected. For this we say, thank you, board members. In January of 2021, we entered the hybrid model of instructions. Class of 2023, you, along with your grade level students, with other grade level students, spend some days on campus and some days at home. Do you remember those days? The theme for the school year 2020-2021 was refocusing to achieve 21st century outcomes. However, in spite of the challenges, the difficulties for all students, the BGCSE results for 2021 reflected the following. A to C passes, 49%. A to D passes, 68.35%. E to U, 31.65%. Class of 2023, you survived, gaining the academic and technical skills necessary. We all survived, but only by the mercies of God. In reflection, we all learned that change is one of the constants of life, and as such, we must all embrace it with a positive mindset if we want to grow and succeed. Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. Robert Sharma. Continuing along the difficult road, you entered the school year of 2021-22 with legs a little less shaky, a little more knowledgeable, still continuing in the hybrid model of instructions. The theme of the year, refocusing, minimizing learning gaps, accelerating achievement. To ensure equity, all students had access to learning packages, especially if they could not access online instructions for one reason or the other. Some took advantage of it, some did not. In February 2022, we transitioned into full face-to-face while ensuring that students maintain the required protocol distancing, even on lunch lines and playgrounds. We were all happy to have everyone back on campus. The road became somewhat less challenging as we began to adapt to the expectations. The 2022 BGCSE results, A to Z passes 52.36%. A to D passes 73.26%. E to U 26.74%. U, we all survived the challenges on the difficult road. Once again, by the grace of God. The academic year 2022-2023. Back to normal. Fully face-to-face. Mingling, but with caution and care. The theme for the academic year, rethinking, retooling, rebooting, transforming teaching and learning through collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity. The aim, transformation. Transforming the classroom environment. Transforming teaching and learning through collaboration. Transforming teaching and learning through critical thinking. Transforming teaching and learning through communication. Transforming teaching and learning through creativity. 2022-2023. What an exciting year it has been. Difficult, yet filled with opportunities to collaborate, think outside of the box, communicate with many, and exercise creativity. A transformational year culminating with this prestigious event. And yes, we are excitingly awaiting the results of the BGCSE exams. We have great expectations. My charge to you, the class of 2023. Yes, we can agree that these 3 years of your education have been difficult, but we must also agree that God has used these years to prepare you for handling all the other difficulties you will encounter along the way to your beautiful destination. That destination is like a perfectly tailored suit that fits only you. It was made for you before you were born, crafted by God Himself. Your role is to walk into that suit, overcoming the difficulties, hurdles, and challenges life will throw at you. I implore you to think carefully about the tools you use to get you through the years of 2020 to 2023. Document those tools and strategies in a journal and pull out that journal when difficulties arise again. No doubt, you will agree that some of the tools are as follows. Number 1, keeping God first in your life, being prayerful and trusting in His guidance. 2, keeping fit and healthy by observing safety protocols. 3, following rules and regulations, especially the laws of the land. 4, continuing to learn and being resourceful. You are encouraged to build your vocabulary and expand your knowledge using technology to enhance that knowledge. 5, learning to get along with others, respecting other persons' boundaries and utilizing social and cross-cultural skills. 6, working productively and diligently, never giving up. 7, acting responsibly for the benefit of the wider community. And 8, always demonstrating integrity and ethical behavior. Be reminded to dress the part and look the part. Remember the dress code of C.R. Walker. First impressions are lasting. Finally, although we are saying farewell to you today, we all look forward to hearing that you are doing great and marvelous things, that you are carrying on the mantra of in pursuit of excellence, and as the vision statement proudly claims, exhibiting honor through discipline, courage, determination, and scholastic achievements to benefit our society. Remember, once a knight, always a knight. It is the perfect way. It has been my pleasure to serve as your principal, to serve as the principal of this great institution. I leave you with a blessing of a beautiful destination. Good morning.
So we talked all night about the rest of our lives, where we're gonna be when we turn 25. I keep
give our principal, Miss Princess Fox, another round of applause. Thank you, Ms. Fox. We will now have official remarks from our distinguished Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin. Please give her a round of applause as she comes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just here to show support. I want to recognize Bishop Hulin Hannah. I see we have the Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force here. Are you a knight? And his wife. Of course, the principal of the school, the former principal. We have the Deputy Permanent Secretary and other, the district superintendent, all of the distinguished guests here. The parents. Who's that hailing over there? Of these wonderful young people. Ladies and gentlemen, this graduating class of 2023, let me be the first to tell you, you look good. Woo! I just want to say, and I really only came to encourage you, to let you know the best is yet to come. Yet to come. As your principal told you, you've been through some very challenging and difficult times, the whole world, and you in particular, and you made it through in one piece, shining, beautiful, ready. I want to encourage you when you leave this hall and you go out there into the world, remember to stay focused, to refine yourself. If you're going to university, to BTVI, you're going into the workplace, whatever it is, continue to refine yourselves. And we believe in you. We're proud of you. And I'm not a knight. Can I just say that? Because it looks like, you know, you have to be a knight for life around here. But this is a grand celebration. You are completing a phase of your life which has been very instrumental in shaping you. But the best, as I said, is yet to come. I want to thank your parents for working with you, supporting you, believing in you, being the surrogate teachers, as the principal said, because it takes a village. I'll just leave you this story. My father, the late Arthur Dion Hannah, became a member of parliament. He was a lawyer, a member of parliament. He became the Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, and then he became Governor General. When he went on, he's from Acklands, Pompey Bay, a very small and remote place, even by today's standards. He was born in 1928. And when he went off to university, it took his family, his uncles and everybody who put together some money to send him off. He was a powerful investment. You are a powerful investment. It takes a village, and we support, your village supports you. And when you look in the mirror, I want you to say, I am beautiful. Can I hear you say, I'm beautiful? No, no, you ain't sound like you believe that. Say, I am beautiful. I am strong. And the best is yet to come. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for such inspiring words. Audience, you are now in for a wonderful treat, as the class of 2023 will serenade us with a selection, Today My Life Begins. Let's cheer them on, please.
Seems
the minister said, you are beautiful, you are strong, and the best is yet to come. We will now have official remarks from our esteemed superintendent of the Northern New Providence District, Mrs. Shannon Roberts-White. Please welcome her as she comes.
I adopt the protocol that has been established. A very pleasant good morning to everyone. This is certainly a momentous and exciting day for the class of 2023 Knights. I am truly honored to be here to celebrate with you, and I extend my congratulations to each of you on reaching such a noteworthy milestone in your life. And I concur with the Minister of Education when she said, you look good. Or did she say beautiful? You look beautiful. Malcolm X, an American human rights activist and an advocate for Black empowerment, concluded that education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. In achieving this high school diploma today, Knights, you have begun your preparations for your tomorrow, for your future, which I dare say is bright and filled with limitless possibilities. Class of 2023, this ever-evolving world demands that you equip yourselves with the necessary tools to meet the challenges that you will encounter. Whether your next pursuit includes entering the job market, starting or expanding your business or businesses, entering tertiary education, equipping yourself with additional certifications, or participating in an apprenticeship program, I encourage you to take risks. As your school motto, In Pursuit of Excellence, suggests, excellence is your standard. Therefore, do not settle for mediocrity in your pursuits. Do not be comfortable with the status quo. Dare to do the impossible. Take bold steps. Follow your passions. Those goals and dreams that you possess are possible. Do not be so afraid of failure that you give up and not try. Know this, failure is unavoidable, but as you put God first in all that you do, success is inevitable. Proverbs 16:9 says, the mind of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Psalms 37:5 says, commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will bring it to pass. All of your dreams he will bring to pass. All of your goals he will bring to pass. Graduates, these are proven success keys to live by. Class of 2023, you are indeed a class by choice, but I applaud that you have chosen to leave a good legacy. Also in your pursuits, I encourage you to be persons of good character, knowing that the character traits such as trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, citizenship, honesty, and integrity are valuable and necessary as you pursue your dreams. The Bible cautions that a good name is worth more than great riches. I want to take just a moment to applaud the dedicated administrators and teachers of the great C.R. Walker Senior High School, who have modeled those characteristics and helped to instill them in you. They have weathered the storms of the past 3 years with you. They have rejoiced with you, cried with you, sheltered you, defended you, challenged you, and corrected you. And today, I am sure they are all proud of you Aren't you teachers, administrators? Let's give it up for the class of 2023. Parents and guardians, thank you for entrusting your children to the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, and for partnering with C.R. Walker Senior High School. I know that you are extremely proud of your children today. Finally, class of 2023, as we celebrate this, our Jubilee Year of Independence as an independent nation, it is important that you remember and appreciate the struggles of our forefathers and foremothers, the struggles that they made for you to have the many liberties that you enjoy today, one of them being a quality education. They faced many difficult roads, but paved the way for us to have beautiful destinations. I encourage you to let their sacrifices and legacies inspire you to not only be good citizens of the Bahamas, but to make other positive contributions to the betterment of our country and, by extension, the world. Congratulations again, class of 2023. I applaud you for your remarkable accomplishments today, and I wish you God's richest blessings in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Much appreciation for those wise and wonderful words of encouragement, Superintendent. If music be the food of love, play on, William Shakespeare. Evidence of our thriving school music program, the school pop band will now give us a musical selection.
If you don't understand my pain, then you can't understand my praise. If it had not been for the Lord, I don't know where I'd be today. So many reasons to give thanks, so many reasons to give praise, so many reasons to lift our hands and bless His name. If you don't understand my pain, then you
would be today. So let's give God a shout of praise. We have so much to be thankful for, so much to be grateful for. Thank you, Pop Band. That was excellent. Didn't we enjoy that? Yes, we did. Well, we are going to keep our power-packed presentations rolling. Our guest speaker will be introduced by Ms. Trelene Neely of our Social Sciences Department. Remember to welcome them both in both nights' fashion.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. Thank you. Anastasia Palacios is a dynamic force in the realm of personal transformation. Known for her expertise as Elisa Nicole's certified transformational trainer, best-selling author, television host, transformational speaker, and media coach. Anastasia boasts over 70,000 hours of public speaking experience and has captivated audiences worldwide through her impactful delivery. As a seasoned television personality, Anastasia has hosted and filmed over 800 episodes of live TV over the past 9 years. Her influence extends beyond the screen, as she has coached more than 400 international business leaders across 43 countries, helping them harness on-camera confidence, refine their public speaking skills, and cultivate their unique style. Anastasia is a master of moderation. She co-moderated the National Bahamas Debate Series in 2021, leaving an indelible mark on the intellectual landscape. Her talents have also been sought after on notable occasions, including serving as the moderator at the 9th Regional Conference of Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, the annual meeting of the Boards of Governors at the IDB, and the Bahamas Independence Celebration in 2016. Beyond her media and moderation accomplishments, Anastasia is committed to advocacy and public service. As the former youth ambassador of the Bahamas to the Commonwealth, a facilitator of the National Youth Policy, and holding esteemed positions as president of the College of the Bahamas Union of Students and University of Miami Student Government Chief of Staff External. She has traveled extensively to over 15 countries. Championing youth and women's rights, Anastasia's dedication is further evidenced by her active involvement on various Bahamian boards throughout the years. Anastasia holds degrees from the University of Miami and the College of the Bahamas. She is listed on Freeport City's Council Wall of Fame and was recognized as one of the Bahamas' top 49 millennials in 2022. Additionally, Anastasia has been nominated for numerous prestigious awards and most recently received the Joanne Albury Award for Leadership from the Zonta Club of Nassau. Anastasia shares her life with her loving husband, Carlos Palacios, and together they are blessed with 2 beautiful children. Audience, it is indeed my pleasure to introduce an agent of change. For this morning's ceremony, please put your hands together and welcome our guest speaker, Mrs. Anastasia Palacios.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been called Anastasia for about 33 and a half years. But can I tell you that no one has ever said my name as beautiful as Miss Neely? I almost want to call her back and tell her, say it again. Anastasia, I like that, Miss Neely. I will tell you all the truth, she made me sound a lot better than I really am. So I just want to get that out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, protocol already having been established, good morning. Y'all that sound so excited for the graduates a little while ago, now y'all sound sleepy. I want y'all to wake up a bit. So I'm just gonna do one thing before I get into this speech because I know there's a lot of energy in the room. I'm gonna ask if you are seated, if you could just stand for me. And when you stand up, if you can have nothing in your hands, that'd be really good. So can everybody just stand for me for 1 second? I can let y'all sit down really quickly, I promise you. You know, I just want us to get the energy feeling right, man. You know, behind the graduates, y'all can stand too, that'd be so great. Yes, I see you waving. Who that is? That's your daughter? You said, yes, pick up yourself. Listen, these graduates are coming into the world today. After today, there's no more school uniform. No more cleaning the clocks, okay? The bell ain't ringing no more. They have to set themselves up for success. But one of the reasons that they made it, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, is because of you. They would not be here. Some didn't make it. Some who started out with them in junior high school are not here today. But you made sure that they finished strong. So if you are going to continue to support them, I'm going to ask you to do something for me, all right? And I just want us to see how powerful we can be as a country, as a community, when we live in love and unity, as our pledge calls us to. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and I want everybody to clap 1 time. So I'm going to show you all how this works. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's it. Ooh, y'all off the chain. Y'all get that just like that. All right, we can try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Try it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank y'all for the standing ovation. I didn't even get started yet, and I already got all that applause. Y'all may be seated. Thank you so much for indulging me in that little experiment. Oh, Night Country, it is truly a joy to be with you today. C.R. Walker, I don't know if you students know, but you hold a legacy in our nation of excellence. Among the parents and godparents and grandparents and aunties and uncles and friends gathered here today are alumni of this institution. And I'm sure they made sure that their children went to the great C.R. Walker. It is a privilege to leave this institution, knowing that you will carry behind you the name of Night Country. What you will recognize, as Ms. Neely so eloquently read in my bio, is that there isn't any reference to me in high school. And that's because the truth of the matter is, this very short phase of your life is done. And only what happens next will matter. And so while today we celebrate and honor you outstanding students who've done exceptionally well and will get all of those awards behind me, if you are not getting that today, I want you to feel encouraged, because as the minister said, the best is yet to come. My bio spoke about some of the great things that God has given me the privilege of doing. that he has truly blessed me with. But what the bio doesn't reflect is all the times I failed. Very rarely will you see every failure listed out. And so it takes the courage for us to look back and acknowledge the times when we could have done just a little bit better. I want to share with you 4 points today as you journey beyond these gates of C.R. Walker, and I hope they will carry you for the rest of your life. I'm speaking predominantly to this awesome graduating class today, but I hope parents, teachers, loved ones, that if these words somehow can come into your heart, that you will receive them as well. I want to start off by telling a story that I shared with C.R. Walker, some of them, a few months ago at their prefect installation. And it's a story about how badly and desperately I wanted to be somebody but me. Many of us who do not succeed in this life do so because we've never taken the time to understand who we truly are, the gifts God has blessed us with, and we are always too busy looking at someone else rather than focusing on all the things that God has called for us to do. I was one of those people. You see, I had won like a national debate championship and I was the best speaker. I had won the Clement E. Maynard Award for speaking or something when I was in grade 4. And all that sounds good, but all I really wanted to do was to be able to win a track meet like a C.R. Walker Knight. That's all I really wanted. I wanted to be a runner. I wanted to get on the track and have everybody cheer for me the way they cheer for the Knights 7 straight times. You know, that same feeling, that energy, that's what I wanted, man. And then, y'all, because God is good and faithful, and even when we want things that we shouldn't, sometimes he gives us a taste just so we can see how foolish we truly are. So I got my chance, y'all. It was grade 12, just like y'all, and it was sports day, and someone decided, you know what? We should let the chubby girls run, and I was one of them. So I was ready, and I got on the track. It was the 400 meters. I was so excited. I couldn't even, y'all say, ooh, that didn't even occur to me. I was excited because I finally got to do this thing I wanted to do. I walked down to the track. I think I can. I think I can. I get there. On the mark. I think I can. I think I can. Gun goes off. Bam! I think I can. I think I can. I think I losing because I'm running, but they surely are running me. And then all of a sudden, y'all, I come down to 200. Oh Lord, I couldn't breathe. My breath catch. But I say, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can make it, but Lord, my left knee gone out. And it ain't never been the same since. And I still pushing. And that's when I saw her. Alexina was in the lane next to me. And I say, if I could just beat Alexina, I could do this. I gather all the strength in me, y'all. I think I can. I think I can. I start saying it out loud. I think I can. I think I can. And I take off. And I run down the track. And I cross the finish line. And I finish last. I finished last. The announcer called it 4th place. And she gave me a 4th place ribbon. That time, Alexina standing next to me with a big 3rd place, just smiling. And that's when I realized one of the first lessons I want to teach you all today. I had spent those few minutes of that race being so consumed by beating Alexina, by comparing myself to her, by looking at her in her lane, that I never gave myself a real chance to run my own race. Knights, graduates, as you go into this world, the first lesson I want you to take with you is to thine own self be true. Comparison is, and always has been, the thief of all your joy. As you come out of this space and you go into the real world, it's time to ask yourself, who am I? What has God called me to do? What gifts and talents do I possess that I could bring to any workplace establishment, any organization, any community that I am a part of, and make a real and true difference? Understanding who you are, I will say to you, for me, has come from acknowledging God's presence in my life and recognizing that I am who He says I am. I don't know if you've heard it before, so if you haven't, let me say it to you now. I'm hopeful that you hear it every day, but if you do, hear it again. God says that you are the head and not the tail, that you are a leader and not a follower, that you are a lender and not a borrower, that you are above and not beneath. God says that He will achieve more in you than you can ask, think, conceive, or imagine, according to the power that already exists in you. Nights, I lost that race so bad, and I was so ashamed. But one of the lessons that race taught me is that when I run in my own lane, the lane for the purpose to which He has called me, He will elevate me. The minute I began to own my capacity and the gifting He gave me to speak and to share, God opened brand new doors. And by the time that I was 19, I was the youth ambassador for this country. I was traveling to over 15 countries around the world, working on youth rights and women's rights and advocacy. God did that, but I had to start with understanding who I was and stop comparing my excellence to someone else's. Nights, to thine own self be true. I got that Ford place that ribbon that day, man, and I go into the car. Somehow I wasn't smart enough to hide the Ford place ribbon. So when I opened the car door, my daddy saw the ribbon. And he was like, "Baby doll, you run?" So that I could tell you how big a deal that was in my house, right? For me to actually run something. So I said, "Yeah, Daddy, I ran the 400. The 400? Congratulations. Daddy, I came fourth out of 4 people. And he said, "Baby doll, at least you ran." And he proceeded to take this ribbon and hang it up on top of his rearview mirror for the whole world to see my failure. And I said, "Daddy, why would you do that?" And my father said to me, "Baby doll, you're not gonna win every race you run. Some races will not be for you. But if you have the courage to try and then to finish, it only matters to me that you ran." I want y'all to keep that round of applause going and just give that to all the parents and the teachers in this room. All of the people, the board, who give of their time behind the scenes when you don't see them to make sure that C.R. Walker is functioning. Each of you have been that voice in some way, and I hope will continue to be that voice in some way to encourage these graduates when times get hard, because they will. Graduates, this is point number 2 for me, and I want to share it with you. Make sure that you are cultivating a circle of people that can support you in the down times. The phrase goes like this: choose your companions with care. You become who they are. There is a theory out there, and it was written by a motivational speaker called Jim Rohn, who says you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Research by social psychologist Dr. David McClelland supports this. He notes that people you habitually associate with determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. Coming out of school should be such a joyous time. I remember when I graduated, I won't call the year, just know it was a minute ago, And we just were so happy and so excited and just ready to take on the world. And a year later, we were all going to come back together and hang out. 4 people never made it. And they didn't make it because 3 had grown up with me, 1 did not. The one who did not had influenced 2 of the other 3 to act in jealousy. Of that group of boys, there was one of them who had nice things, man. He always had the freshest Xbox, the latest Jordans, nicest tennis, and we tingsy. They had convinced the other 2, this one boy had convinced the other 2 to hold their friend. We've been from primary school together. To hold him for ransom. And they ended up killing that young man. The 3 of them went to jail, and over the course of the time since this took place, they've all died. 4 of them I will never see at a reunion again. 4 of them I will never see at an alumni association event again, because one bad friend influenced the 2 others to turn on one good friend. Watch the company you keep. And as you are watching the company you keep, make sure that you are looking for new ways and new people to grow and thrive with. Your teachers may be behind you now, but continue to seek out mentors, seek out leaders who will spend time with you, invest in you, encourage you. Be willing to learn and grow. Some of you will go on to university. I hope you make great friendships. Some of you will go into the workplace. Be careful when you go into these workplaces. Take some time, observe, see what is going on. Be wise in your decision making. Be wise in the connections that you make, because ultimately, who you choose to spend your time with will be a direct reflection of where your life will go. The third point I have for you in this lesson of the 4th place, and the 4 is 4. The third one is, how do you seek out these people? How do you put yourself in position for the right opportunities to find you? And this is another old one, and I just like the fact that, see, I walk and be in Grantstown, and I like the fact that we're in East Street today, because this a lesson would come from me from Augusta Street, from my mommy, and her mommy before her, right? And the lesson is this: manners will take you around the world. I will. I can say it again. My friend called for that, and she fresh up put her shades on. Manners will take you around the world. You know, I was sitting at a graduation just like this one, at a different level of college education. I was sitting up here with a board member, and to be honest, I didn't really want to talk to her. It wasn't her, it was me. Because there are times in our life when we can feel intimidated by other people. When we can see someone who looks like they have it all together, and it may make us question, what do we bring to the table? That was my truth in that moment. And so I felt nervous sitting with this woman who was just so outstanding. But even in the face of our fears, remember this truth, graduate, that manners take you around the world. You start with something as simple as a good morning, and it will blow your mind how God can use that and a please and a thank you to open a door. So I sat next to this lady, and I felt insecure, but I did what my mommy taught me to do many years ago. I leaned over and said, "Good morning." And she looked back at me and she said, "Good morning to you. I'm so happy I get to sit next to you. Tell me, what are your plans after graduation?" And I said to her, "Well, to be honest, I'd love to continue my university education. My parents are not in the financial position to do so, so I'm honestly not quite sure what's gonna happen next." And she said to me, "I'll pay for you to go." And just like that, God used a woman to open a door that led to $250,000 in scholarship money. Remember, my first point to you was, to thine own self be true. And I said to you, the only way you can do that is if you know who you are in God. when you allow God to lead the circumstances of your life, and you throw in surrounding yourself with good people, and you add to that the manners and respect that has led this nation for generations and taken us to further heights, God will blow your mind with what is possible. You know, I didn't see that 4th place ribbon again for many, many years. And then one day, I had to go back into my dad's car. And this time I went in because my dad had just died. This was 5 years after the ribbon. I was 21. It was 3 weeks after my graduation from the University of Miami, where that woman had given me the scholarship to attend. He'd seen me walk out with my cap and gown. I have a picture with him jumping in the air with my diploma. My daddy was not a silly man, so that picture's a big deal. And 3 weeks later, gone. Time waits for no man. So for all of you sitting in this hall today, pick up yourself, Cliffy, good to see you. For all of you sitting in this hall today, remember that while we celebrate today, we do not know what tomorrow will bring. I sat in that car and I wanted like just a couple seconds to just feel his presence, smell his scent. I put my hands on the steering wheel he would use. And when I looked up, I saw it still there, 5 years later, my 4th place ribbon. And as I reached for it and I held it close, I could hear his voice say to me again, "Baby doll, my race is done, but you have to remember to run your race." I felt so defeated after my dad passed away. This was my biggest cheerleader. And you know what it was? We never had gotten to that point in our relationship where we could just be friends. For so long, it had just been him being a daddy and me being a daughter. But I was finally at the level and the place where that relationship could grow and bloom, and now it was no more. And I say to you and share this story with you because in this life, C.R. Walker, at the pinnacle of your success and the pinnacle of your joy and the pinnacle of your celebrations, the 4th and final point is this: you will face many defeats, but you must never be defeated. Your theme speaks so true that the difficulties are ahead. But can I tell you all that you've already conquered difficulties? When the world didn't know what to do with you, you showed up online. When you had to come to school with mask on, when all along you never had to do that, you did it and you did it well. You made it. When some people gave up, you did that. And so when the defeats of life are thrown in front of you, remember nights which you have already overcome. And know that you will face many defeats, but you must never be defeated. I'm gonna wrap up now. I noticed what the pastors are saying, and they talk for 20 more minutes. I ain't gonna do 20 more, I can do 5 more. So I'm gonna wrap up now. And I want you to leave here with those 4 thoughts in your mind, right? That to thine own self you must be true. To choose your companions with care because you become who they are. To always know that manners will take you around the world. And to remember that even though you face defeats, you must not be defeated. And should you ever not remember those 4 things, remember the name that you carry today. That of C.R. Walker. This is our 50th year of independence. And I want you to know that this is not by chance that God has you here today, graduating school in the 50th year of this nation's independence. Believe it or not, you are still a forefather of this nation. And what you do when you leave here, how you build it or tear it down will count. C.R. Walker gave of himself. He worked hard to go to university, to come back to this country and to build it up. He was the man that built the hotel that allowed black people like us to come inside of it. He was the man who gave that hotel to a movement to allow them to meet, to plan, and to strategize to create the independent Bahamas we enjoy today. Because of his sacrifices and the sacrifices of those that came before him, your education is possible. Do not take this lightly. 50 years from now, what Bahamas will your children live in? What Bahamas will they inherit based on the decisions that you make today? C.R. Walker was one man, but from him came a great institution that has given this nation young people like you. He ran his race. You've run the course of this leg, but the race continues. And so I want to implore you, even as you remember those 4 things again, as you remember the 4 things again that make a very good-looking 4th place winner, as you remember and remind yourself, to thine own self be true. Choose your companions with care. Manners take you around the world. You will face defeats but not be defeated. I want you to remember the words my daddy said to me. Knights, run your race. Run your race when you are exhausted. Run your race when you have to run it alone. Run your race when the people around you may not agree, see, or appreciate the direction that you are running in. Run your race because no one can do it like you. Run your race so that whether you come in 1st, 2nd, or 4th, someone who loves you can say, at least you ran. Knights, it's time to take up space. Find your lane. Go at your pace. Whether you win or you come in 4th place, today is the day to run your race. Thank you so much for having me. C.R. Walker.
Miss Fallacious, thank you for this auspicious, exciting, and memorable charge. I am sure as the class of 2023 passes through the halls of life, they will remember these nuggets of encouragement and wisdom that you shared with us here today. On behalf of the entire C.R. Walker family, I would like to present to you this small token of our sincerest appreciation. Thank you.
Class of 2023, to thine own self be true. And you have to do what? Run your. Thank you, Ms. Fallacious, for a dynamic and timely message. Graduates, you are given a masterclass of lifelong lessons. As in life, at the end, there's a start to something new. Head boy Andrew Dean and head girl Asia Rule will pass the baton to the recipient Dante Dorilan and Gabrielle Major of 11C.
For some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the lonely, the tired and worn. Hold out your candle for all to see.
On behalf of the class of 2024, we receive this candle. We promise to strive for excellence and uphold our school's mantra. Nikes are honorable. Nikes are respectful. Nikes are leaders. Nikes are winners. I am a knight, a C.R. Walker knight. For to be a knight, a C.R. Walker knight, is the perfect way. Is the perfect way.
Good morning. I know it's only 2 of them, but class of 2023, let's show them how it's really done.
Hold on. Nights are, I am a C.R. Walker. For to be a C.R. Walker is the.
For to be a knight, a C.R. Walker knight. Let me hear you one more time, class of 2023. For to be a knight, a C.R. Walker knight is the perfect way where we are in pursuit of excellence. Among any group, you will find those that push a little harder, do a little more, and make excellence a standard. We do that here at C.R. Walker. C.R. Walker and our class of 2023 are the standard bearers. Hence, representative of such excellence, there will be a dual valedictorian's address, as both Asia Roll and Cherish Walker of 12C are tied for the highest GPA of the class. Let us give them Asia Roll and Cherish Walker, the valedictorians for the class of 2023. A roaring round of applause. This is C.R. Walker Night, the perfect way where we are in pursuit of excellence.
A pleasant good day to you all. Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin.
Ministry of Education officials, administrators,
School Board executives, PTA Board, teachers,
supportive friends and parents,
and invited guests.
Hold on, I think we're forgetting someone.
Please get serious, Asia. How could you forget to say good morning to the class of 2023?
My apologies. Last but never least, we'd like to say a special good morning to the best graduating class, C.R. Walker's class of 2023. A difficult road, a beautiful destination. Class by chance, legacy by choice. And boy, was our road difficult. Girl, you remember when we started grade 10 and everything was virtual? I was already nervous because I had to leave my old school and I didn't know anyone like that at CR.
Yes, I definitely understand. Although it was a bit easier for me, seeing as though I had been a part of the public school community before, and most of the faces seen through the screen were familiar, I still had some stomach-turning moments when it was a must to show everyone my loud pink-colored walls, when Ms. Roll made it mandatory for our cameras to be turned on. But look at me now, standing in front of these exact students who were hiding behind those screens, proud and fearless.
Speaking of these students, man, I remember when I used to sit in the back of class, trying not to say too much or do too much because I wasn't sure what they'd think of me.
Yes, I remember as well. But girl, your shyness in class was unbalanced by your eagerness on virtual. That reminds me of how you were one of the very first students to contact me on Teams, wanting to create a study group for our shared classes. And later, after meeting face-to-face, those short Teams messages formed bonds and strong friendships that will forever last a lifetime. In all honesty, walking up that long treadmill of a hill every morning, losing 20 pounds 5 times a week to enter the school gates was not it. And it had a part in the decision of me not being a part of Knight's territory, no joke. The long hours spent creating a business portfolio in 11th grade and the increase in demand of assignments and studying was a song sang by every person with credentials or a degree on CI's campus. This in itself was stressful and was most definitely my 13th reason. But this also came along with the help of many teachers, namely Mr. Lewis, who had a hand in pushing me to always be my best self and allowed me to realize that the moment I stepped through those gates, the decision of becoming a Knight had already been made for me. And just like God's will, it shall be done.
I remember days fighting for my life in virtual math class. And between the hype surrounding COVID and stuff going on in my own personal life, I distinctly remember days I would literally cry because I felt like my world was falling apart. But here I am. My world didn't end. Instead, for many of us, this is the beginning of a whole new world. The road leading to this moment in time was nothing like we could have ever imagined. But we survived and thrived and created a legacy along the way. The class of 2023 redesigned and re-implemented our own shirt crest, donated a monument of our school's patron as a gift to the school, and we have not one, but 2 female valedictorians because we had to double it.
I want to begin with thanking God because He is the source of all of my faith, and Lord knows I needed plenty of that. The Bible says in Peter chapter 1 verse 1, "In our natural man, we have no believing ability. We do not have faith by ourselves. The faith by which we are saved is the precious faith that we have received from the Lord." Whilst being able to focus in school and comprehending as much topics taught as I could is the fundamental rule by everyone, they would not have brought me to this pulpit today if not my faith in Jesus and myself, allowing me to believe that I will stand here to deliver this speech and wear the school sash.
Similarly, I have to thank God because so much has happened over the past 3 years, and I know it was truly only because of God that I stand before you all today with the esteemed honor of being one of your valedictorians. And not only that, God had to bless me with 12C because they were the best homeroom.
To Miss Neely, your class was our nesting ground. You were both a homeroom teacher and up until grade 11, also our civics teacher. But more importantly, you were a mentor, even when you weren't teaching.
You have been a force to be reckoned with, even from the beginning of virtual school. You've helped us with many of our problems and would go to war about us. Thank you for your love, dedication, and for teaching us more about life than a book ever could. We will never forget you.
To Ms. Roll, Mrs. Morris, Mrs. Minnis, Ms. Swaving, Mrs. Dean, and Mr. Lewis, what would we have done without you all? You were all there from day one during virtual school, always on time and ready to help us learn. We'll never forget verbal quizzes from Ms. Morris.
Or those features about how we've got this, and the private school students aren't any better than us.
Ms. Swaving, we'll always remember how you would put your head on a chopping block for your students.
And how you'd always tell us when we're falling off.
And Mrs. Dean, how could we ever forget how much effort you put into making sure we learned concepts? You provided us with video resources, extra classes, and always gave us 110%.
I think what I miss most about your class is coming up with songs and jingles to remember concepts.
Mrs. Minnis, you provided us with real-life lessons that prepared us for our future and always spoke highly of us. We'll miss those heated debates about dating and having to write out assignments instead of receiving handouts on them.
And we will surely never forget those end-of-term projects that had us on the verge of breakdowns, but always brought out the creativity out of us.
To Ms. Roll, you truly are dedicated. May we never forget the workouts you ran us through during virtual and face-to-face learning. The sounds of 1, 2, 3, 4, will forever stay in our memories.
Thank you, because even though you were tough sometimes, it was always out of love for us. And if we didn't have an A in any other class, we would be sure to pass yours.
Last but certainly not least, Mr. Lewis, as our civics teacher, you provided us with more than just facts about our economy, but you gave us a class we could call home, filled with love, respect, laughter, and most importantly, food.
Mr. Lewis, I thank you because you constantly reminded me that life really only is as hard as you make it. More importantly, thank you for putting up with my dramatics because Lord knows I always had a story for you. I hope that one day I can become as calm and collected as you are.
To my option teachers of academic science, Ms. Ferguson, Ms. Brennan, Mr. Perez, and Mr. Lewis, thank you for making each topic more informative than the next. Even though there were days of clear annoyance and struggle, you still reminded us that this is just the beginning and sometimes even pulled our socks up for us. You truly made the students a part of the Magnet program in sciences excited to learn about the upcoming topics. Your everlasting help will supply us with everlasting success. For 3 years and some even shorter, you've learned our ways and taught us on behalf of them, and for that we say thank you. Thank you, Senora Erskine, for your tough love and countless memorable Spanish lessons that helped us to become as fluent as possible. Long hours working through our oral presentations will forever show that la educación es el pasaporte hacia el futuro, porque el mañana pertenece a quienes se preparan para el hoy.
Call me biased, but I have to say, business is the best pathway to y'all. And I was blessed with the best teachers. Mr. Small, I have to admit, you were a bit intimidating at first, but then I got to know you. Thank you for your personality and the way you truly cared about us. Mrs. Allen, I don't know where you are, but I think it's about time we admit I'm your favorite student. I'll miss trying out new learning apps in your class and the videos we'd watch to learn about commerce. Thank you for the extra efforts you put in to make sure we passed. And if you didn't make an impact on any other student, you made an impact on me. Mademoiselle Hamilton, you were a breath of fresh air this entire term. And I think I'll miss your smile and French greetings the most. I speak on behalf of all of your students when I say, vous allez nous manquer. Last but definitely not least, Mrs. Burrows. There's so much that I can say, but I'll leave it at thank you for the laughs, keeping it real with us, and for just being a great teacher.
I would like to take a moment to thank the woman from whom I received my name and life's blood, my mom. Thank you for being present in times of need, and even when I saw no need for you to be. You were our soccer team best and favorite cheerleader, and my greatest motivation.
To my family and friends, thank you for the never-ending love and support. To my day one Alexis, thanks for keeping me sane and putting up with me these past 3 years. And I know you all may be getting tired of all the thank yous, but I think I speak on behalf of most of you, if not all of you, when I say thank you to the guidance department. But especially Mrs. Delaney. Miss Delaney, whoocha. Your office was like one of those group chats you pray never gets leaked? Yeah. Thank you for being our school mother and for always listening and being there for us. To all the administrators, I also say a special thank you for all that you have done over the past 3 years, especially our supervisor, Mrs. Johnson. All your hard work on our behalf is appreciated. 12th grade year head, Mrs. Powell, thank you. Last but not least, CR support staff, your labors have not gone unnoticed. Thank you. Finally, as we come to the end of our speech, we would like to bestow upon the class of 2023 a brief message. Please stand. I promise you all a short way. I promise.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing.
There's no such thing as a life that's better than yours.
Today, as you dream about what's the next step on this journey, tomorrow as you begin to act on those steps, and to the days that follow.
No matter where life takes you or the circumstances you endure, hold firmly to the belief that no life is better than yours.
Your journey is unique, no two will be the same. So on the climb to fortune, success, and fame, let there be no comparison, no matter how slow it seems.
Rather, love, learn, grow from the struggle. Don't get caught up looking for a quick fix. Remember, money does not equate to happiness. And when the journey is full of uncertainty, trust that God will always make a way.
Learn to always appreciate your journey and take your time.
Constantly remind yourself, I'll never be happy until I love mine.
If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving.
My name is Asia Roll, and I'm the head girl of C.R. Walker Senior High.
And my name is Cherish Walker, the deputy head girl of C.R. Walker Senior High.
And we are your valedictorians for the class of 2023. Signing out.
C.R. Walker family, join me. Let us really truly acknowledge what we've just witnessed. Let us give them a rousing round of applause, people. Ladies, thank you for being such a shining example of positive competition and the reward of hard work. Continue pressing on to even greater heights. Senior Mistress and Grade 12 Supervisor, Ms. L. Johnson, will now come to present the class of 2023. Let us give a hearty round of applause as she comes.
Okay. Pleasant morning, everyone. Just waiting for you to be quiet. This is a very important moment. Principal Fox, please stand. Principal Fox, having been given oversight of the class of 2023, today, out of approximately 189 students present here, we have 9 students on our principal's list, 25 students on the honor roll, and 111 students with a cumulative GPA of 2.0 or above. I present to you C.R. Walker's greatest graduation class of all times, who on this day, Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, are recipients of BGCSEs, some with 5 already. They have received acceptances into international colleges, universities. I ask the class of 2023 to please stand. Special guests, teachers, staff, parents, please applaud this awesome group of young men and women who will take the Bahamas to higher heights. They have had a difficult road, but are on the greatest path to their greatest beautiful destination. Give them a round of applause. Class of 2023, the greatest of all time. You may be seated. At this time, we ask Mr. Bain, who will present 12G and 12I. So we ask for 12G, we ask our protocol officers to please come to assist with the movement of our students. And the students will be coming up in homeroom in alphabetical order to receive whatever accolades are here for them. Mr. Pete, we'd like for you to assist us with these presentation of awards.
All right, good afternoon. Graduates, I will start with our guest speaker. Remember what she said. Many defeats, but never, ever defeated. 12G, let's stand up. First coming for his individual recognition, Adrian Knowles. Adrian becomes, or is planning to become a future plumber. Alexander Antonio. Alexander Johnson. Alexander is planning to become an electrician. Anae Lewis. Brianna Etienne. Danisha Roll. Derika Campbell, Tavonia Neely, Diego Virgil, Gilbert Francis. Gilbert received the most improved in electrical installation. Harmony Maki, Jax, I'll wait for you. Jackson Hilaire, Kaylin Cartwright, Keno J. Booth, Kendra Thurston, Kenya Camp. Kenya receives the SAD program recognition. SAD is Students Against Domestic Destructive Behavior, Kevin Thomas. Kevin receives special recognition from the soccer and volleyball team. Shannon Alexander and Wilford Jules. Moving on to 12I. 12I, stand up. Starting with Aiden Forbes. Aiden is a prefect, most outstanding award for physical education, track and field, volleyball, and the basketball team. Adrienne Wallace, Brittany LeGuerre, Carlos Brown. Carlos received the World's Youth Award, and we all know he's our silver Carifta medalist. 4x1. Kalisa Ambrista, Corinique Smith, Garanico Ramming, Jaden Miller. Jaden also receives the award for track and field. Jeronica Torres, Kalia Deems, Michael Mark. Michael receives awards for the soccer team. Ricky Pratt. Sierra Colley. Sierra receives the most outstanding student for civics. Taranika Elliott. Teresa Emilian. Vernon Ferguson. Christopher Fox. Christopher receives the award for most improved in English language. Carlos Holmes, Makai Taylor, and Darlin Roll. We'll continue with 12S.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peach, for your assistance. I will now call on our District Education Officer, Mr. Moss, to assist us with the distribution of prizes and diploma. (12N). Alicia Stirrup. Anthony Raming, he is also a member of the basketball team. Sienna G. Lowe. D'Angelo Wilson, he is also a member of the basketball team. De Niro Watson. Joshua Kemp, he is also a member of the basketball team. Caden Lewis. Kaya Gilbert, he is also a member of the basketball team. Katrina Lucien. Keidre Ferguson. Kieran Roll. Manishka Mezedju. Max Albert. He is receiving Most Improved in Carpentry and Joinery. Michael Mark, he is a member of the soccer team. Ricky Pratt. Sierra Colley, most outstanding in civics. Teranique Elliott. Teresa Millian. Vernon Ferguson. Christopher Fox, he's receiving Most Improved in English Language. Carlos Lehom. Dathan Roll. And Mackay Taylor. I'll now be calling 12E. Anastasia Bethel. Angel Roll. Clyde Richards. He's receiving the Bernard Sanders Male Athlete of the Year, Track and Field Athlete volleyball and basketball team. Colette Knight. Danicia Smith. Davonte Roll. Denicia Pete. Garnisha Raming. Jalen Roll is receiving a Prefect Award. Jamaya Curtis. Jermaine A. Dawkins. He has been accepted to Missouri Valley College, Northeast Alabama Community College, Hawkey Community College, and Earlham College. Jimmy Riley. Jude Dupura Jr. Kaylin Wilkinson. Keyshawn Dorset. Kevia Gardner. Christoph Goodman. Kyrell Dean. Natasia Edgecombe. She is receiving Track and Field Athlete Award. Randon Cox. He is receiving a Volleyball Award. Shania Presenti. Shantea Brown. She is receiving Most Improved in Office Procedures. Tierra Cooper. She is receiving Track and Field Athlete. She is a part of the volleyball team and the SAD program. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Moss. We will now have our Member of Parliament for Bain and Grantstown, Mr. Watson, to come up and assist us, please, with these awards. Calling on 12I, RNA Wallace, Brittany Laguerre, Carlos Brown Jr. He received the World Youth 2022. He's our Carifta medalist, track and field athlete. I know, but they still want it right, I know. Carlisa Ambrista, Coronique Smith, Garanico Raming, Jaden Miller, receiving a Track and Field Athlete Award. Veronica Torlius, Kalia Dames, Shaquita Price, Sanchel Orville, Track and Field Athlete. And Tyann Shepard. Thank you very much.
12AL and 12K, please stand. I'm going to now invite Ms. McKay, our former principal, to assist us with these awards. Yes. I don't have eyes. Marcelo Cargo. Thank you so much, Minister Watson. We'll now call our former principal, Ms. McKay, to assist us with these awards. 12L and 12K. In the back. Alexandria Miller Award, Prefect Award, City and Guilds, Level 1 Award in Bookkeeping and Accounts. Alexandria Miller. Brene Roll. Brianna Hanna, Most Improved Civics, Basketball and Softball team member, pop band team member, Brianna Hanna. Kristen Allen, Darlene Larimore Music Award, Most Outstanding Music Theory, Most Outstanding Music Listening, pop band member. Cromwell Forbes, basketball member. Adia Burrows, Most Improved, keyboarding. Adia Burrows. Farah Benaby, soccer team member. Jamazia Morse. Jazara Store, most outstanding food and nutrition, most improved clothing construction. Kaisa Johnson, most improved physical education, accepted into Spring Hill College, soccer, track and fields, and softball and basketball athlete. Lauren Herreras. Marlene Jerome, Prefect Award, soccer team member. Rayanne Roll. Rayanne Roll. Regina Bonnaby, Prefect Award. Rosaria Bennett, Prefect Award, yearbook photographer, accepted into Florida Memorial University, Barry University, St. Leo University, awarded a $12,000 scholarship. Seth Ferguson, most improved, Spanish. Shemaya Roll, track and field athlete. Stacia Newbold, Prefect, accepted into Central State University, Florida Memorial University, Benedict College, Tillman College, St. Leo, awarded $11,500 scholarship. Felicia Thompson, Prefect Award, most improved chemistry. Thank you so much, Ms. McKay. I'm going to now invite Dr. Lucky Carter, Director and Deputy Permanent Secretary of the National Drought Council, and she will assist us with these awards. 12K. Albrene Oliver, Prefect Award, most improved tourism, accepted into St. Leo University. Aliyah Storr, Prefect Award. Angel Raming, the SAD program, Student Against Destructive Decision. Ashley Wiley. Krishawn Williams. Deantia DaCosta. Demia Thurston. Diamond Hanner. Houston Rowe. Javere Pratt, Prefect, most improved in literature, accepted into Tennessee State University, St. Leo University, and Florida Memorial University. Justin A. Green. Most Outstanding Clothing Construction. Kenley Esperance. Marvin LaFleur. Shanice Cavaller. Trey Warner. Vanessa Sawyer, Most Outstanding Physical Education, and that's the rest. Claire Arlene, Female Athlete of the Year. Karifka 2020-2023. Women's National Volleyball Team. Karifka medalist, track and field athlete, volleyball and softball team. And she's the Female Athlete of the Year. Vaniqua Hyla. Thank you so much, Dr. Lucky Carter.
Carl Bain. I will now be calling the students of 12A and 12W and 12R. I'm going to ask Bishop Hewlin-Honors to please assist me with these awards. Carlton E. Green of 12A. Denari Lloyd of 12A. Jamal Gator of 12A. Christian Campbell of 12A. Kamoy Barr of 12A. Makai Adley of 12A. Makai Adley of 12A. Oriel Smith of 12A. Receiving the Prefect Captain Award, he's also a pop band member, most improved in art history. He designed a school sign on behalf of the class of 2023. He received the NSI Scholarship Invitational in conjunction with the Hanaway Group. He is a Karifka 2023 athlete. He's also a track and field athlete, Mr. Riano Todd. This person is receiving the Most Outstanding Award for Band. He has been accepted into Monroe College to study hospitality. He is a pop band member, and he is a member of the volleyball and basketball team, Mr. Romello Roberts. This next young lady is receiving the Most Improved Award in Carpentry and Joinery, and is also a track and field athlete, Miss Shania Smith. She will be followed by Shania Miller of 12A, Terranique Stewart of 12A, Tiara Roca of 12A, Trinity Thompson of 12A. She is also a member of the SAD program. And finally, Zion Smith of 12A. This outstanding young man is a student of 12W. He was a member of the basketball team, the volleyball team, and he is also receiving the Most Improved Award in Computer Studies. He is also an honor roll, she is also an honor roll student, Miss Alexis Apollyon. This fine young lady has been accepted to study business at Central State University, Florida Memorial University. She also received a scholarship to study criminal justice at St. Leo's University. She received a $46,000 scholarship to Barry University. That's more than my salary, Honorable Minister. Just so you know, you could just change that. And she's also a prefect, and she brought her whole family from East and West, Miss Brianna Bowles. This next young lady is receiving a Sasaka Award, Elisa Roll of 12W. She is followed by Aisha Janor, also of 12W. And then we have receiving the Prefect Award of 12W, Javan Sweeting. This next young man is receiving the Most Improved Award in Music Theory, Most Improved Award in Music Listening. He is a member of the basketball team. His parents attend so much basketball games until I think sometimes that they are the head coach. And he is also a prefect, Mr. Jamil Miller. This next young knight received a 10-10 SAT score, is a member of the soccer team, and is also receiving the Prefect Award, Jawan Baptiste. Very good. This next outstanding student of 12W is receiving the Most Improved Award in Physics. And she's also graduating today with high honors, Miss Kenrika Roll. Following her is going to be also receiving the Prefect Award, Lavon Hamilton of 12W. Maya Miller is also receiving the Prefect Award of 12W. And the Bishop of 12W, Mr. Philcon Maxey, is also receiving the Prefect Award. This next young outstanding knight has been accepted to study computer information science into Spring Hill College, Washburn University, Stillman College. He is a track and field athlete, a soccer athlete, and a prefect, Mr. Rolando Thomas. Okay, we almost finished. We also have from 12W, Miss Tamisha Clark. Please give those students of 12W a rousing round of applause. Coming next are some students from 12R. We have not forgotten about you. Accepted to Carson Newman University to study respiratory theory. What is that? I don't know. Broward College to study computer information technology. Mississippi College, a Christian university. He is the Vice President of the Young Knight Association, and he is also our Deputy Head Boy, Mr. Anton Williams. This next outstanding young knight is receiving the most outstanding award for graphical communication. He has been accepted into the University of the Bahamas, where he's going to study mechanical engineering. And when you hear him, you will hear the British accent. He's also a prefect, Mr. Kading Burbish. Sorry. Okay, good. Whew, almost there. Our next prefect award, and who is also graduating from 12R, is Chakaya Weech. This next young knight is a member of C.R. Walker's world famous pop band. He's receiving the Pop Band Award. Ernst Lee Elidor. Good, almost there. This next young knight is receiving the most outstanding award in literature. He liked to read. He's a track and field athlete, and he's also the prefect captain, Mr. Leroy Dorset. Oh, parents, y'all can work hard. You're almost finished. Almost there. Also from 12R, Mr. Samuel Minus. We also have Taniqua Miller of 12R. We also have receiving the Most Improved Award in Biology, Mr. Xavier Cartwright of 12R. Also from 12R, we have Kendria Phillip. And next, Ms. McKay. Ms. McKay, former principal. Principal McKay. Principal McKay. Our next young knight is receiving the T. Nicola McKay Female Chivalry Award. Also, Most Improved Band, track and field athlete, and also a prefect, Miss Ivanisha Charlton. Come on, give Ivanisha a round of applause as she makes her final walk down the stage. Good. And finally, one of the best and most important awards of today isn't the valedictorian award. It's actually an award from Most Outstanding in History, okay? So today receiving the Most Outstanding Award in History, and he's also graduating today, a fine and outstanding young knight, Mr. Terrence McSweeney. Thank you so much, Senior Mistress Johnson. The program is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Just give us 40 minutes, please. 30 minutes. Principal Fox, can you kindly come to present our honors and principals list students? But just before that, we ask for the remaining of 12C students. That would be Taria Thompson and Naya Vanderpool. Okay, we just need to get Ms. Fox on stage. As we wait for our principal, we just ask for you to be quiet. Since 10th grade, the class of 2023 were encouraged. We're waiting for you to be quiet, please, to go after every opportunity that is afforded to them. They were encouraged to apply for universities, the scholarships. They were told that from 10th grade. Our guidance department worked very hard to push them, and they did just that. And so they were told that at their graduation, should they be accepted into their university, they would be announced at their graduation. And the email was flooded with the acceptances of the universities. And they are students, as Ms. Morris said. The private schools, as Ms. Morris says, is no better than our public school students. What I call it? Who I call it?
Call them first.
Okay, just before we call our honor students, 12W again, Alexis Apollyon, Angelia Young, Brianna Bowles, Dion Morley, Donisha Rigby. Okay, sorry, Aisha Janoa. Okay, our first honor student. We have Rochelle Util, Prefect, Honors and Most Improved Cosmetology. Angelia Young, Prefect, Honors, Most Improved Food and Nutrition, and a member of our soccer team. Okay, this young man is an honor student. He has been accepted into Central State University, Monroe College in Computer Networks and Cyber Security, track and field athlete, soccer team member, and a part of the SAD program, Rashad Apollyon. Brianna Scherer, our prefect and honor student. Jason Higgs, prefect, honor student, most outstanding carpentry and joinery, most outstanding technical studies award. He receives the award for technical studies, Jason Higgs, the overall top student. Kendria Philippe, Barino Miller, most outstanding electrical installation. Josette McPhee, prefect, most improved craft, most improved drawing. She's been accepted to Nova Southeastern University with a Dean Scholarship of $60,000 in marine biology. Josette McPhee. Waynisha McPhee, prefect. Janelle Hepburn, prefect. Oh, which room are these? Okay, okay. She has been accepted to study biology at Barry University and eligible for a Dean's Award Scholarship of $14,000. Zion Johnson, prefect. Trinae Archer, prefect, most improved history. Antonia Forbes, prefect. Antonia has been accepted to Hollins University with a $39,465 scholarship, and also at University of Ozarks, and she was a part of the soccer team. Tedvinique Bethel, prefect. Safoni Salo, honors, and she receives the Pauline Adderley Literature Award. Sanria Dawkins, prefect, most improved family life. And Sanria has been accepted into Barry University and St. Leo University. This next young man has the most improved in economics. He's been accepted into St. Leo University, Flora Memorial University to study civil engineering, and he was our debonair deputy head boy, Justin Curry. This young lady is a prefect. She has most improved in French. She's been accepted to study hospitality management at St. Leo University, Florida Memorial University. She She has a choice to accept a $19,000 scholarship at Jacksonville University, Monroe College, Oswego State University, Stillman College, University of the Ozarks, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and she was a part of the SAD program. Tori Rowe. Faith Storr is receiving Most Outstanding Cosmetology, Most Outstanding Tourism, Most Improved Religious Studies, and she has been accepted into Philander Smith College. Faith Storr. This next young man has an SAT score of 1150. He has English and Math BGCSEs already with C's. He's eligible for Philander Smith College $21,464 scholarship, Millikan University Civil Engineering Dual Program in the amount of $37,000 Bahamian scholarship. He has been accepted into the University of New Haven. He has a $25,000 Distinguished Scholar Award. He has been accepted to the University of St. Louis, Missouri, and he's also been accepted to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. He was a part of the soccer team, and he served as our wonderful head boy, Andrew Dean. Miss Jolena Smith, Prefect, Most Outstanding Keyboarding, Most Improved Math, member of the soccer team. Kendall Brown, Most Outstanding Computer Studies, Most Improved Accounts. Kendall has been accepted into the University of Missouri St. Louis for computer science, and he was our basketball team captain. Kendall Brown. This young lady was a prefect, accepted to Hastings College, $23,000 scholarship, a $13,000 scholarship to the University of Ozarks, Central State University, Barry University, St. Leo University, Stillman College, Philander Smith College, Troy University for computer science and biochemistry, Miss Shalisa Johnson. Another prefect, $14,000 scholarship from St. Leo Barry University to study biochemistry, $13,000 Ozark University scholarship, and accepted into Flora Memorial University, Sharnique Lightfoot. And now we are going to present our principals list students. These students have attained a cumulative of 3.5 to 3.81 in our case, GPA. Okay, this next young lady, a prefect, she has Most Outstanding Office Procedures, Most Improved Commerce. She receives the Kristen Delancey Student Athlete Award. She has a B in BGCSE History. Yes, they sent all of their accolades they wanted called. And a C in Math BGCSE. She's been accepted to Monroe College for Computer Information System. And she's been accepted to Stillman College, and she was a part of the volleyball team, Miss Vanna Douglas. Next young man, prefect. He receives the Most Outstanding Biology Award, the Most Outstanding Economics Award, the Most Outstanding Accounts Award, the Most Improved Geography Award, receives the T. Nicola McKay Chivalry Award, Male Chivalry Award, and a part of the SAD program, Christopher Adderley. We have next another prefect, and we want to thank her for designing our 2023 yearbook design. she gets Most Outstanding Craft, Most Outstanding Art History, Most Outstanding Drawing, the Mervyn Wilson Memorial Art Award for Visual Arts, and she receives the Christina Ash Award for Creative Craft. And she was a part of the SAD program. Ms. Azaria Rowe. Our next awardee is a prefect. She receives the Most Outstanding Spanish Award, the Most Outstanding Religious Studies Award. She has been accepted to Stillman Barry University, Florida Memorial University of the Ozarks, and she wants to study pre-medicine or nursing. Miss Victoria Sejour. Another prefect, she has been accepted to Stillman, Hastings, Ozarks, Florida Memorial, Barry University, Tennessee University, and she wants to study architectural engineering. Our prefect captain, Miss Rethoria St. Fleur. No, before I call the first two, they want me to call you. Who these is again? Just those. Before the solid, call them. Before the solid, call them. No, I'll call before the solid. Okay, our next awardee has been accepted to Oswego in New York, accepted into Stillman College, a $23,000 scholarship from Hastings, accepted into Florida Memorial University to study, remember the pots, please. Hello, thank you. Environmental Studies and Geology, our deputy head girl, Miss Irene Dean. Okay, we are down to our final three top honorees. This young lady, our salutatorian, served well as a prefect captain. She receives the Most Outstanding Mathematics Award, the Most Outstanding Chemistry and Physics Award. She receives the Leo Roll Oratorical Award. She receives C's in Spanish, English, and Math BGCSEs already from the 11th grade. And she also receives the Academic Science Magnet Award. That's the top science student. And she also receives the Ruth Macer's Math Award, which is the top math award. None other than Miss Tamia Hamilton. Okay. Our first valedictorian. These students definitely have done extremely well. In 10th grade, they made 3.9, close to 4.0. They've maintained straight A's consistently from 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. And so when we announce our valedictorian, we ask that you stand and applaud them, because as we always say, they are no better. The private schools are no better than our public school students, as you can see today. Our first valedictorian has received a 1060 on her SAT score. She receives the Most Outstanding English Award, the Most Outstanding Geography Award. She's been accepted into Central State University, Manhattan College, New York Institute of Technology, the University of the Ozarks, the University of Missouri, St. Louis, Stanford University, and Washington University. And she was a member of our soccer team. Our first valedictorian also served as deputy head girl, and she is none other than the beautiful Miss Cherish Walker. And also, we have Bamboo Shack that has sponsored a laptop for our valedictorian, and we have a representative. to present her with a laptop so that when she goes to whichever university, because she has choices, all of them have choices, she can get her studies done very well. Kendrika Roll, give her a round of applause. She was not in place at the time to receive her award. And our next valedictorian receives the Most Outstanding Family Life Award, the Most Outstanding Commerce Award, the Most Outstanding French Award. She receives the Aldika Colbrook Business Award, that's the top business student. She receives the Trevor Michelle Comer French Award, that's the top French student. She receives a $23,000 scholarship at Hastings, should she choose to go there. $15,000 scholarship at St. Leo University. Acceptance into St. Benedict St. John's to study psychology. And she served as our graceful head girl, beautiful Miss Asia Rowe. And she receives a laptop as well from our sponsor. Thank you so much for remaining until the very end. At this time, I'd like to bring the vote of thanks. First, we would like to thank our school board representatives. Most of them have since left. We thank them for their unwavering support, their sponsorship to the school, their assistance to the school. We thank, in her absence, our superintendent, Ms. Shannon White, and D.O. Moss, please stand. We thank Mr. Moss. He is always a familiar face on the campus of C.R. Walker with his notepad in his hand, taking good notes, very meticulous of what's happening at C.R. Walker. We also like to thank Ms. Fox, our principal, please stand, for leading. You could do better than that, class of 2023. This is the last time you'll see Ms. Fox. No more Juju Square. No more Juju Square. Thank you, Ms. Fox, for your unwavering support as principal. We would like to thank all of our administrators. Please stand. Dr. Curtis, Mr. Lockhart, Mr. McIntosh, please stand. Thank you so much for leading the great C.R. Walker Senior High School. We ask for all of our teachers to please stand. Please stand, all teachers of C.R. Walker, guidance counselors, support staff, they're here as well. Please stand. Had it not been for our teachers, you would not have gotten those acceptances in the college. You would not have gotten those BGCSEs. They stay back after school on Zoom, Saturdays, to help you to achieve. So we thank our wonderful, awesome teaching staff that helped to bring this culminating exercise to a wonderful close. We thank, in particular, the 12th grade homeroom teachers, class of 2023. Please give your homeroom teachers, in particular, a round of applause, all of them, for their mentorship, their kind words, the confidence they put in you. We thank all of our 12th grade homeroom teachers at this time. We also would like to thank our sponsors, too many to name. All of the special awards in your program is named after a sponsor that would purchase their trophy or special award. So we thank all of our sponsors, and we continue to look forward to your unwavering support for years to come. And now to our program. Let us give our beautiful Teacher of the Year. Please stand, Ms. Morris, so beautiful in red. And Mr. Lewis, a rousing round of applause as our beautiful moderators this morning. We'd like to thank our school band. We'd like to thank Dr. Curtis for our invocation, Ms. Powell for the welcome address, Ms. Fox for our wonderful principal's report, our graduates themselves as they rendered their selection, our district superintendent, our Minister of Education, Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin. We thank Ms. Neely for our introduction of the guest speaker, and our dynamic speaker herself, Mrs. Anastasia Palacios. We thank our valedictorian's address, which left an indelible mark, I'm sure, on all those present here, Asia Roll and Cherish Walker. We thank all of those on the graduation committee, too many to name, that assisted with protocol, the awards, working behind the scenes in whichever way that they had rendered. We want to thank Bishop Hewlin Hanna for opening his doors once again to his beautiful church for us to use on our graduation day. If there was anybody that was not called, it was inadvertent and not deliberate. So we thank you all. We hope you have a blessed afternoon. Take them for someplace nice to eat, not Twisted Lime. Take them someplace fancy to eat. Today is their day. Students, be seated. Students, sit. Students, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just before we leave, we are going to we're going to have the recessional play, and the students will ask the protocol persons to do that. But before that, we will sing for the last time, class of 2023, your school song. Please stand. All persons in the audience, please stand. We will have our school song and the benediction by Bishop Hewlin Hanna, and then our recessional. Please remain.
warm and generous sun shines its light on everyone. Here is where we work and play, proud to wear our red and gray. What will be a night, a see a walk at night, it's the perfect way. Christ before us, Christ beside, on to victory we'll ride. As we strive for right, we'll rise to greater heights. See a walker night. Hail thou, see a walker, hail, for your teachings never fail. Sons and daughters ever true, alma mater, we love you. Standing firm, our pillars tall, guarding round thy hollow walls. What will be a night, I see a walker night, conquers over all. Christ before us, Christ beside, on to victory we'll ride. As we strive for right, we'll rise to greater heights. See a walker night. Hey, night!
Let us bow our heads. Father, we thank you for this tremendous time of fellowship that our young people, and as they leave this place and they go into the world, we pray that you would order their steps, We thank you for their parents. We thank you for the teachers and faculty. Today, those who have fashioned the lives of these young people. We pray your protection over them. We pray that they would be their best selves, and that this feeling, this expression here today, although we know that they'll be challenged in many instances, we pray that they'll always be able to reflect on this day and this occasion and to find joy and strength. And now as we leave this place but not your presence, we say grace, mercy, and peace. The blessings of God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit rest and remain with us all now and forevermore. And C.R. Walker said, amen. God bless you.